It is the middle of the night in Ukraine. A mass exodus is still underway. Stuart Ramsey is in the capital.
Here we go.
It started before dawn. Ukraine woke to explosions around the capital, Kiev. It was the same across the country. These pictures from Kharkiv in the east. Enormous blasts, also in the city of Dnipro. Air raid sirens blared out across the capital. Above the clouds, a fighter jet soared over our heads, Russian or Ukrainian, we don't know which. This was to be a day of targeted attacks by the Russian forces.
Whoever tries to hinder us, and even more so to create threats to our country, to our people, should know that Russia's response will be immediate, and it will lead you to such consequences that you have never encountered in your history.
Kharkiv residents sought shelter from airstrikes in a subway station. Above ground, the aftermath. Shocked witnesses filmed this video of missiles hitting the Ivano-Frankivsk airport in the country's west. Russia appeared to be targeting essential infrastructure. Helicopter gunships hovering above a power plant. Other power stations were targeted as well, including the Chernobyl nuclear power station, just 60 miles from Kiev and the shortest route to the capital, raising fears of an even greater disaster. Ukraine's president held an emergency meeting with his top staff, pledging the fight will go on.
Нікому не вдасться переконати чи змусити.
What Ukrainians should do: help the national defence, join the national armed forces, territorial defence. Anyone with experience in the army. It's really important, and we will not let the enemy go any further on our territory.
Russian armoured personnel carriers and other military vehicles crossed the border from Belarus into Ukraine as President Putin's forces attempted to take control. Military trucks also seen heading north from Crimea, annexed in 2014. And tanks rolled through the cities, including Sumy, heralding a new phase in this escalating crisis.
We now have war in Europe on a scale and of a type we thought belonged to history. NATO allies condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine in the strongest possible terms. It is a blatant violation of international law.
In the capital, streets usually teeming with people became quiet. Not deserted, but fundamentally different to just 24 hours earlier. Within hours, it was clear a mass exodus had started. This man and his family told us they'd tried to get onto a train heading west. He said he was giving up, though, and going home. Without a car, you're stuck, he told me. The main roads heading out of Kiev were suddenly jammed with traffic. Miles and miles of queues. People getting out of buses for a break before continuing on. These women said they and everyone on the bus was heading to the west, and maybe then onto Poland and safety.
Well, for weeks now, people have been telling us that nothing's going to happen, that they're going to stay in Kiev, they're going to stay in their homes. But it has happened, and this is the effect. It's log-jammed here. This is the main road to western Ukraine. As you can see, we're in a massive, massive parking lot now.
Queues began to form outside petrol stations and then at banks and cash machines, people withdrawing their savings and attempting to head away from the Russian forces. There has been plenty of defiance in Ukraine in recent days. On the streets, a few hardy souls came out to support the nation. The flag carried with pride. But in the face of the Russian army, there's not much more that they can do.